Welcome to part 2 of our South Jersey football preview. Marc Narducci and Phil Anastasia. And Phil, last year Timber Creek went 12-0, and we got a little bit of indication how dominant the Chargers would be when they beat Delsea. Now this year, Delsea comes to Timber Creek. Timber Creek already with a game under its belt.
Yeah, Delsea really, I think, is the #1 challenger to Timber Creek, both in the division in the West Jersey National and in South Jersey 3, with Timber Creek moving down to 3 this year. So this would be a real good gauge of where this Timber Creek program is and where Delsea is in terms of being able to challenge for the division title and, and obviously the South Jersey title. Timber Creek with Devin Leary, record-setting quarterback back, is a team that's rebuilding at some other spots besides quarterback and some offensive linemen back, some good running backs as well. So it'd be interesting to see if they can maintain the level of play they had last year. Delsea, I think, rebuilding a little bit too. Quarterback to watch though, and sophomore Demir Lomax. They're going to run a lot of triple option with Mark Deal over there as an assistant, and he looks like a kid that could be a very dynamic run-pass threat. And certainly if you're Delsea, you want to try to control the ball, keep that Timber Creek offense off the field. So these teams could meet again in November, but I think it'll be a real good gauge for both of them, on what is opening night for Delsea and Timber Creek's second game.
Or they could meet in December, too. Another game that Phil will be attending, Woodrow Wilson at Highland. Now, last year, Highland won this game in a tight game, and really that was kind of what people thought was the unofficial championship of the West Jersey Football League Royal Division. Phil, I think the same feeling exists now.
Yeah, I mean, you hate to say the division is decided on opening night, but I think these two are clear favorites. And like you said, last year's game, 13-7, went down to the wire. Wouldn't surprise me if this one is a close one again, although I don't think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Woodrow Wilson really looks on paper, and I've seen them in some scrimmages as well, as a very explosive offensive team. They have great wide receivers in the King brothers, as well as Fidel Diggs, who's a sophomore, very much to watch. And they have a new quarterback in Nick Cargman, a transfer from Pittman, 6'4" kid with a big arm. So this will be his debut. Be interesting to see how they operate. Highland, the defending champion, coming off the best season in program history, Mark. And they got some guys back, Naeem Furlow, Devin Starks. Those guys are going to really be after Cargman. It'll be interesting to see, how he stands up to the pass rush pressure, how the Wilson offensive line does. This has got a chance to be a real good game. And like you said, a lot of implications in terms of both the division and, for playoff seeding, because I think both of these teams are going to win a lot of games. So this is a big PowerPoint game for everybody.
Phil, 2 teams from the West Jersey Football League American Division. Williamstown visits Kingsway. These are teams that, by their standards, had off seasons. 3 wins for Williamstown last year, 4 for Kingsway, although the Dragons came on strong at the end. I think these are 2 teams out to show that maybe they can be a playoff team, and this is going to be a good gauge.
Yeah, I mean, you really want to try to start fresh with both of these programs, and here's an opportunity against an old familiar rival, from the Tri-County Royal. Williamstown, a rare down year for them. They've really, operated at a higher level in recent years. But they got some guys, that I think got some experience last year. Quarterback J.C. Collins, Wade Inge Jr., real tough all-purpose player. Kingsway, on the other hand, like you said, finished strong. Joe Skirbo, senior quarterback, a good player, good leader. So it's early, it's only game 1, but for teams that are trying to turn things around, opening night is big, and it's big for both of these programs.
And Phil's weekend will be completed at a classic on Saturday morning, Paulsboro at Woodbury, 10:30. Last year, Woodbury wins 14-13, and that obviously spurred the Thundering Herd to the West Jersey Football League Memorial Championship. Of course, Paulsboro came back and won the South Jersey Group 1 title. Phil, I expect a typically tight game between these rivals.
Yeah, you talk about classic old rivalry. This is it. And again, the division title, it's opening day, but really the division title's on the line. And there's a tremendous amount of South Jersey Group 1 playoff implications. These also are 2 teams that could see each other again in November or December, based on how good these programs are. But it's always a special rivalry when these 2 get together. It's opening day. There's just a feel of the atmosphere and the history and the tradition there. So, like you said, wouldn't be surprised if this is a great one, and wouldn't be surprised if the loser walks off and says, "We'll see you again."
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what a great series of games for the first full week of the South Jersey football season. Hope you go out and enjoy the games. For Phil Anastasia, Marc Narducci for Philly.com.